Hi, I'm back. It's Donna Rodman. This is video 2, Universal Design. I had ended up on Principle 5, which is Tolerance for Error, and I just completed that section. So I'm going to move on to Low Physical Effort, which is Principle 6 in Universal Design. We work towards a design that is used efficiently and comfortably and within a minimum of fatigue. So this really addresses ramps. We look at creating the choices in a landscape design where you have stairs as well as ramps, and the standard has always been to try to get to at least a 7% or the most the 12. I always try to get to the 5%, and this really boils down to landscape architects working with their grading principles and creatively seeking the alternatives to reduce, if you possibly can, the slopes on ramps. And grading is an essential skill that a registered landscape architect needs to master to achieve that. And it's a lot of going back and forth between slopes and tops of banks and bottoms of banks and high points and low points, and before you can actually get the universal design element in your landscape that allows ease and comfort going from point A to a higher elevation in point B. So I try for a 5% and at the most a 7% slope. The reason we do that is because of the strain on the rotator cuffs and the shoulders of people, particularly using wheelchairs. Rolling up a ramp takes a lot of strength, and it wears these joints out, creating pain and further disability and injury later in life for that person. So it becomes an important piece, and eventually both you and I will be in the same position of looking for the choice between the stairs to go up, which might be easier depending on our center of gravity, or walking up a ramp. Number 7 is size and space for approach and use. So again, where we position gates and doors, allowing for a person to move to the side with their chair and be able to either push a gate open or swing a gate towards them and get through that gate. So they have to hold the gate while they do that and roll through. Sometimes it's really nice to put a bench or something to the right of the gate entry, at least so that a bag or a piece of luggage or something that you might be carrying can be placed. It's the size of the space that is provided that allows for approach, reach, manipulation, and use, regardless of the user's body, size, posture, or mobility. That's Principle 7. One of the things with those last two principles and low physical effort and size and approach is looking at how we can reduce the disability process, the disabling events of a person with a disability. I myself have sustained sports injuries, and there are risk factors involved, like, for example, lifestyle and behavior. If you're an endurance person and wants to train to keep fit, biology, your body type, your capacity to actually exercise for those long periods of time on various different surfaces, the social and physical environment in which you find yourself. Those are risk factors that can contribute to the disabling process. And I created a graphic, again, I'd like to show you, from my book called Universal Design Guidelines, Plan and Design for Choice. So when an event happens like a fall or an infection, it impacts some part of the body. It creates a pathology at a joint or an organ. It creates an impairment. It then follows a functional limitation. If it gets re-injured, again, it's a functional limitation. And then it may become a disability. And that impacts the quality of life. And it's a very, very vicious circle called the disabling process. And I have created this so that it's easier to understand how the cycle could start in a person, a temporarily able-bodied person, suddenly becoming slightly disabled and or completely. So to fully respond to the design implications and universal access, it's important to understand that when we're designing, we could be enhancing or contributing to an ability, and aiding a person to reach a full potential and be included and fully engaged in their community, with their family, in their job. Or we could be creating a barrier and enabling a disabling process. So it is a very, very important part of the design in landscape architecture. And we also have to remember that some disabilities are clustered. So a person with a mobility issue may also have another disability, like, for example, a hearing disability or a visual disability or perhaps a cognitive one. So appearances can be everything and very, very important when we actually sit down and interview a client or watch a group of users using a space. We have to consider these pieces, that not everything is on the surface visible to us as designers. We have to dig a little deeper, in other words. So I want to thank you so much, and I'm hoping that these 2 videos will have been useful. And if you have any questions, again, it's Donna, D-O-N-N-A, at Our Designs, Landscape Architects. Sorry, ourdesigns.ca is the email, so Donna at ourdesigns.ca, and I'm happy to entertain answering your questions. And thank you so much for hearing me, and I hope that you have a chance to review both of these videos, that they will engage you and make you think and find some insight further. Bye for now.